Look what the libtards are doing to us, telling children they might be trapped in the wrong body, scaring elderly people into voting for the Liberal Party, take away your personal rights. This is what I mean when I say that you are trying to get Indigenous people to be on your side of this whole thing while actively doing and saying shit that's harmful to them and really showing that you don't know anything about them but pretending that you do to try and ply them to believe the things you believe. There's quotes of the government referring to Indigenous children as retarded for being Indigenous. And you're using that to describe people who are liberal. Not only that, but if you knew anything about Indigenous culture, history, anything at all, you would know that Indigenous people had something called Two-Spirit, which is now included in the LGBTQIA. Traditionally, Native American Two-Spirit people were male-female, and sometimes intersect individuals who combined activities of both men and women with traits unique to their status as Two-Spirit people. Most tribes, they were considered neither men nor women. They occupied a distinct alternative gender status. In tribes where Two-Spirit males and females were referred to with the same term, this status amounted to a third gender. In other cases, Two-Spirit females were referred to with a distinct term and therefore constituted a fourth gender. Although there were important variations in Two-Spirit roles across North America, including Canada, they shared some common traits. They had specialized work roles, gender variation, spiritual sanction, same-sex relations. The disruption caused by conquest and disease, together with the efforts of missionaries, government agents, boarding schools, and white settlers, resulted in the loss of many traditions and native communities. Two-Spirit roles in particular were singled out for condemnation, interference, and many times violence. As a result, Two-Spirit traditions and practices went underground or disappeared in many tribes. There is a documentary called Two-Spirit about someone who was specifically targeted. It was about a boy who was also a girl, and the essential spiritual nature of gender. But the English term Two-Spirit is a useful shorthand to describe the entire spectrum of gender and sexual expression that is better and more completely described in their own language. So if you're going to try and be transphobic to try and win over the Indigenous community, you just, once again, have no idea what you're talking about. I've also seen this rise of people being like, Mark Carney's dad was a principal at a residential school. One, was not a residential school. That distinction is actually very important. And two, it shows this disconnect between conservatives and specifically white people, that they don't seem to understand that the entirety of the government system has been racist towards Indigenous people. The entirety of it. This is not new news. This is not something that's like, you guys are, oh, did you see and your point, his dad was a principal, and he also wrote articles about all of the atrocities that happened to Indigenous people. Carney interviewed 240 former residential school students, eventually reporting allegations of extreme physical abuse and 15 alleged instances of SA at Western Arctic residential schools. And he actually, when you go down and scroll in this, I'm just not going to go look for it again. They actually said that he was they were upset that he didn't put all the good things in when he was talking about it. He's also said some fucked up shit, but he was actually the principal of a combined school. It was a mix of white settlers, Indigenous kids who lived in Fort Smith, plus all of the children from Brennett Hall, the residential school nearby.